Well, as we know, Governor DeSantis has thrown his hat in the ring. He wants to be president of the United States next year. And recently in Iowa, I'm telling you, the guy's full of common sense. He hits every nail on the head as far as I'm concerned. And for instance, when he was talking about what's happening with crime right now in our country, here's his comments.
American cities have been hollowed out by spiking crime due to weak, ideologically driven policies that intentionally allow criminals to roam the streets.
Well, also on the border, as we all know, major problem. We keep hearing about all these illegals coming into all these cities. It's starting to be a burden for all of us. Where does DeSantis stand on that?
Our southern border has collapsed. The Mexican drug cartels have more control over what goes on at the border than our own United States government. Millions of illegal aliens have poured into this country, including criminal aliens and even individuals on the terrorist watch list.
Yep, there you go. And joining us now to talk a little bit more about Governor DeSantis and his presidential launch, the Chief Operating Officer at Young Voices and an attorney, Addison Hosner, is in. Addison, good morning. Welcome in.
Hey, good morning, JT. Pleasure to be here.
So a lot of good things happening with Governor DeSantis, but there are all those other folks, a lot of Democrats, and even some conservative Republicans that are a bit concerned with his position in Florida when it comes to the Disney, debacle. I got to tell you, I'm in support of what he's doing with Disney. I'm in support of him protecting children. I'm in support of not, jumping on board the push and the wave of everything, LGBTQ, drag shows, transgender, and all. You know what? When it comes to children, hands off, folks. So you believe that there should be reason for concern in his position in all of this?
Yeah, JT, and let me just preface it with this. As a native Floridian, I was, born and raised there, and during COVID, I was living there. We were all very supportive of DeSantis, including him running for president. So I'm by no means, a DeSantis slanderer or anything like that. But there is something that concerns me, and that is just the general retaliatory conduct from a political official against the free speech of a corporation. Which corporations were granted the same protections that citizens were from the Supreme Court dating back, way back in the 1943, as well as in Citizens United. So generally speaking, our concerns here is Disney, of course, as everyone's aware, spoke out against House Bill 1557, the Parental Rights in Education bill, which was termed the Don't Say Gay bill, which I think was incorrect, but
totally
discussion.
Incorrect.
Yeah, that's another discussion. But generally, they spoke out against it, saying that they're not for it, and they think it's going to be damning and harmful, and that's their prerogative. And because of that, DeSantis has now opened up this war against Disney to shut down their Reedy Creek Improvement District and replace it with his own Central Florida Tourism District, and it's causing this legal battle. And for a lot of us, like myself, on the more libertarian side of things, are concerned about this simply seeing a government official utilizing elected power to censor or combat opposing dissent. And I just see that to be a slippery path forward, especially if that precedent is set. And then if you have another government official and say on the other side, now you've given them free reign to do the same thing. You can't now point and say that's impermissible.
Let's just call it. The Democrats have been doing it since the beginning of time. This president does it with a DOJ and everything else when it comes to his policies. So when you talk about what Governor DeSantis is doing in Florida, he represents the people of Florida and the parents of children in the state of Florida. And there is nobody except the liberal left, as far as the majority is concerned, wants this agenda being shoved down their throats and, more importantly, in their children's faces in all types of different angles. So Governor DeSantis, in my mind, is doing what he can as governor to protect children in the state of Florida and also, bring to fruition what the majority of parents and residents in the state of Florida wish him to do.
Right. And here's my pushback to that is simply, what involvement does Disney have with the curriculum of schools? Zero. What involvement does Disney have in raising your children? None.
No, that's not true. See, the indoctrination of all of this is happening, and Disney's a big part of it. As you saw the leaked email of a Disney head, a president of entertainment, saying it's my goal by the end of the year to have 50% at least of our characters in Disney programming represent the LGBTQ community. And when you look at Disney product over the years, it's family friendly and focused on children. They don't like the indoctrination of what's going on coming from Disney heads.
It's a private enterprise, though. correct? You don't have to take your children to Disney World. You don't have to show them Disney movies. You don't have to have them listen to Disney music. That's a complete choice of the parents. And I'm all for parental rights. I was a family law attorney in the state of Florida. I fought hard for children to have, the fundamental constitutional protection of child rearing. I completely understand that. And I'm
all right. Here's a question. All right.
What you're saying.
As an attorney, my question for you then, let me ask you this. How do you feel about what Target's been doing with the sale of all these materials in that arena for children?
When I look at anything that's private, again, this is maybe the difference between a conservative and libertarian. I just think if it's a private business, it's your choice, the free market, to purchase and support or not. So if no one's forcing you to go to Target and buy things, then just don't shop there.
Was there anything? On the flip side of that, then, if the majority of people in the state of Florida don't like the indoctrination that's taking place in public arenas, and you say, well, you just don't have to buy a ticket to go to Disney anymore, and you just take care of that, your kids cannot be subject to this abuse of offensive material that parents deem necessary to be watched and taken care of completely. It's if it's out there and it's everywhere, your kids are going to see it, right? So, what has Governor DeSantis done? Anything illegal in your mind to redirect on how things are presented to Disney, just like any other corporation in the state of Florida?
I think his big misstep was simply just pretty much declaring war against Disney itself. The issue here is not, his ulterior goal or motive of wanting to do. I think, hey, that's his goal. His base loves it. And I think overall, what he's trying to achieve, I can get behind, which is just trying to protect the sanctity of children and making sure that they're presented with information that is developmentally appropriate. That's the language of the House Bill 1557.
Absolutely. And I agree with you on that. And I got to say and applaud DeSantis for standing up for the majority of the people in Florida that are sick and tired of the push down. It's like drinking from a fire hydrant with this push. And if you don't play ball with this group of folks and this agenda, then they will get after you and cancel you in the worst. Disney, for years and years and years, was getting special treatment and special tax breaks and benefits like nobody else in that state, and he put them on a level playing field, and they don't like it. Well, I appreciate you being with me. Thank you so much, Addison.